Welcome back, everybody. My name is BluJay, and we are back once again on the Unity SMP, ready for another episode today. In today's episode, we are going to continue doing some work over here at our starter area, and honestly, I'm starting to think that this might not just be the starter area. I'm starting to think that this might be a place that we expand and do a lot more in. And today's build was actually a suggestion from one of you guys. And I honestly actually had this same suggestion from a couple of people, and I thought it was a great idea, but this was the first and honestly most detailed one that I found. So this subscriber, Toby Terry, says this: I suggest making the stump a bit bigger and then making it look like the massive tree snapped in a storm, and the rest of the tree will be lying on the ground, hollowed out for more home space. That's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to build the stump up just a little bit higher, and we're going to put a log on the ground laying sideways to make it look like it snapped in half. And then in a future episode, we will actually do some building on the inside of it and expand our base just a little bit. So let's get started right now. So before we actually get started on our build today, I ran into Daphne. DaphneElaine is on the server right now, and she is working on something pretty cool. I've been watching her videos. I've been trying to keep up with the rest of the players on this server. I watch all of their videos when I can. And I've already seen some of this from videos, but I've never seen it firsthand. So we're going to travel over to her new base area and take a look at what she's been working on. Let's go head on over there. All right, we are over here at Daphnes Base, and we'll have to see what this is. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Wow, so good. So good. Man, there are so many talented builders on this server, and I'm so excited to be among them playing. And wow, what a privilege to be able to see this firsthand. Wow, I cannot believe this. I love this lake over here in the middle of the cave, and just, if you haven't seen a couple of the most recent episodes, she's been working on this, and I know she's been building some houses, like little facades on the sides that eventually will get dug out into, these things right here, will get dug out, I think, into some more houses, but wow, she's digging this thing out here. I cannot wait to see the episode of what this is actually going to be. Wow. Wow. That's a lot of digging. Man, oh man. That must have taken forever. But yeah, you guys will probably have already seen what this is going to be before this episode is even released, because as I have said multiple times, I am backlogging a lot of videos so that I can have some uploads for you guys when the baby is born. And so this build will probably already be done by the time my episode comes out, so this is probably old news to you guys, but this is brand new to my eyes. This is so cool. Oh man. I think that's about it. Let's take a look around and see if there's anything else in here before we head back. Well, this direction looks promising. There's TNT back here. That's always a good sign. Oh, it's just a mine. Oh, and it's a dead end. Wow, the attention to detail in this kind of build, where you're probably never going to wander back here, but to build back far enough. Wow, love it. To build back far enough like that to where you won't see anything other than the build from the outside. Wow, that's so cool. Ah, Daphne's such a good builder. I've seen quite a few of her videos. Nothing in there just yet. I've seen quite a few of her videos, and if you haven't seen them yet, you probably have. Most of you guys are probably subscribed to them already, and I am by far the smallest YouTuber on this server. But if you haven't seen her videos by any chance, then go check them out. She is one skilled builder, that is for sure. So you're in for a real treat seeing some of this stuff for yourself. What's down here? Let's take a look. Is this another dead end? Is this another mine that just dead ends at the end? Yes. Yes, it is. My goodness, I don't know that there's any need to go this far into detail, but it's amazing because if she ever wants to expand down that direction, she's already got the groundwork laid out for it. So good. So good. Well, on our way out here, I found a couple of slimes. I seem to only have found one of them over here in the swamp because it's not too far away from her base, and honestly, the swamp area is not too far away from the spawn section too, so we might make some trips over here in the near future to get some slime if we ever want sticky pistons or anything like that. Oh, a little witch hut here. It's probably already been claimed. Yep, and discovered by Dallas on June 27th, 2017. Oh, pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, let's head back and start building. Actually, the next thing that we need to do before we can start building, because we need materials, is we need to run over and grab some spruce saplings from one of the shops. I know AGHQ has some because I just checked, and he's selling them for 5 gold ingots, and so we're going to run over there and grab those probably, but I do want to make a stop over by JackFrostMiner's new treasure chest shop to see what he's got in there, just to take a gander around. And it's nice that multiple shops are popping up on this server so far, because that makes prices a little bit more competitive if somebody is selling something that somebody else has. Which brings me to my next point. I need to start thinking about a shop, and I've got a few suggestions from different people. And the one that's the most unique to what is already on the server right now is a wood shop. I have a whole tree theme kind of thing going on. And so I'm thinking if I'm going to continue with this build idea of expanding with logs and big trees and stuff, I'm going to need a tree farm. And so if I'm going to have a tree farm, what better use of that tree farm for myself than to actually go ahead and try to sell that. So I may do a wood shop to sell logs and planks and stairs and slabs and sticks and fences and ladders and anything else you can think of that is wood on this game that people might need. You always need wood. You definitely need wood for tools, and unless you have mending, then, I mean, which is quite honestly a great possibility on this server, unless you have mending, you're probably going to need some wood for a new tool at some point. So, man, check this shop out. That is so cool. Again, so many great builders on this server, and it's so fun seeing new things pop up on here all the time. All right, looks like he's got some books and some fishing poles and some lily pads, and yeah, I was hoping that maybe that was like a plant chest, but looks like it's just lily pads. I don't think he's got any saplings, so sorry, Jack, I can't afford anything in here just yet because I really don't have any diamonds. So I'm going to run on over to AGHQ's shop and purchase those saplings, and we'll get started with our build. Okay, so I think that we've got the supplies that we need for today so far, and to be honest with you, I don't think I've got enough oak logs. Just being truthful here, I think it's going to take us quite a while to build this, and we're probably going to have to go, bone mealing some saplings and doing all of that for quite a while, because I don't think 2 stacks of logs is going to cut it. I absolutely know it's not, because this original stump that I built, it took way more than 2 stacks to get it this high. So I'm thinking this will just get us started, and I'll do a lot of tree farming off camera, so you guys don't have to sit through all of that. Whoops, didn't mean to break that. But after we take out these fences, we're gonna expand this upwards a little bit, because it's pretty good right now, and I'm really happy with it. And it took me a few minutes to actually decide to do this, because when I looked at it, I was like, man, that looks like a complete house, and it looks nice the way it is. But I think we can make it better. So I'm gonna put those feelings aside and stop being sad about changing this build, and we're just gonna get to it. So first thing that we're gonna do. Well, second thing that we're going to do, we just took those fences out. The next thing that we are going to do is put these logs up and just kind of stagger them a little bit. They're not going to be at the same height, because the idea that Toby, our subscriber, has given us is to make it look like it snapped in a storm. And if a tree is snapped in half and fallen over, it's not going to have perfect line edges. It's going to be very jagged and very random, and that's the look that we're going to go for. And I'll kind of go ahead and, give away what we're going to do with this right now. I'll explain what we got those spruce saplings for. We're not actually going to use spruce logs or planks or anything like that. What we are using the spruce for is for fences. And we're going to use fences to make the sharp, jagged points at the top of each of these logs at random, and just make it look like there's some sharp edges to the tree where it snapped. So let me keep working on this, and we will continue on after I've gathered up some more supplies and after we've made a little bit more progress. All right, are you guys ready to see what we've done in the last couple of seconds? Actually, it's been quite a while. There it is, and you can't really see it through the trees, but here it is. There is the tree stump, expanded a little bit higher and a little bit more jagged, and we are far from done with this. It looks okay right now, but it's not anywhere near as cool as what the stump looked like. And the reason for that, let's get rid of you really quickly. We don't need any of you skeletons trying to shoot me while I'm showing off the build. The reason that the stump looked so good by itself is because it had, some texture to it. It wasn't just a perfect circle all the way around, which our tree is a bit of a perfect circle right now. It's a little bit too perfect. So we're going to add some logs and some variation and some leaves and do this pretty much the same thing that we did down below. But I don't think we're going to go all the way to the top because we want to make sure that, the roots stay towards the bottom. We want texture all the way up as far as we can go, but we also want it to look a little bit different towards the bottom. So let me craft up these fences real quick and then we'll start applying those. So what I want to talk about while we put these fences into place is what this room is actually going to be. I've gotten several suggestions from you guys, some of them really good about what we could use this room for, and the one I liked the most was making this the Enchanting Room. Now, I'd still be willing to hear some more suggestions if you guys have them, and I'll be sure to put a post out on Twitter about that because, like I said, I am backlogging, so by the time you guys see this, I probably already would have built something in here. So I may put another question on Twitter, so if you want to be included in some of these things, be sure to go follow me on Twitter because I do a lot over there. I know I say that a lot, but it's a good resource for you guys to catch up on news about my channel and, submit suggestions and content and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, the one I'm leaning towards right now is an Enchanting Room. And I want to know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about this being an enchanting area. I know Dark has one in his base area, his tree house, which, it's also a tree house, but it's very different. Mine is literally a tree house, and his is a house in the trees. So they're totally different ideas, but it's very cool. He has some really good building ideas, and I know he's got an enchanting table. That's why we were talking about him. He's got an enchanting table, but I don't think anybody else on the server has one right now. So we need to get one so that we can use it as often as we want and not, necessarily have to rely on running over to his place every time we want to enchant something. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for this room. We are all done with the fences, and let's go downstairs, and there's a sneak peek for you. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go downstairs and take a look from the outside, because that's what I really think matters, because that is going to have a roof on it. It's not going to be visible from the top floor there. So let's take care of this guy first, because we don't want you chasing us around while we're trying to look at the build once again. Man, I have never seen so many mobs in my entire life. Maybe that's because we don't hardly sleep on this server, but that's okay. Here we go. Yeah, I love that. Oh man, that makes it look even more detailed. Just having those jagged edges there just brings it to life. I love it. I don't even know how to describe what that looks like, but I'm really happy with it. It just looks really sharp and pointy, and that's exactly the look that I had in my mind. Perfect. So I did a thing. I did a little bit of work off camera, and I completed the roof, and it doesn't look like much, but it looks like what I want it to. We're not going to use this for any kind of usable space, but when Dallas looks down on it from his mountain house, I want it to look like, the top of a tree stump that's been snapped in half, and it's been broken, and it's very jagged and random, and there's no rhyme or reason for the blocks that I placed, other than the fact that I wanted them to be random. So let's hop on down here and take care of this little sheep that has a baby zombie guy. Oh my. Come on, get him. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're okay. Yeah, perfect. And we got some mutton out of that. Not bad at all. Let's run on up to Dallas's house, speaking of his house, and we'll take a look at what this looks like from the air. All right, here we go. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Oh yeah. Man, I really like that. Oh, I love the level of detail, just even on top of the roof. Nobody's ever going to see that except for probably Dallas, but man, I'm really pleased with that. Man, I wish the maps in this game would show that level of detail, but since it's a top-down view, it's actually just pretty flat. But that's okay. The next part of this build is the same thing that we did with the lower part of the stump, and we're going to throw in some leaves and make it look like there's some overgrown brush and vines and all of that kind of stuff thrown about. And while we do that, I want to talk about something I mentioned a little bit briefly at the beginning of this episode. I didn't mention it in very much detail, but I talked about this being our primary base area for the series. I want to know what you guys think about that, because I know some people are sticking pretty close by, but I also know that there are others who are expanding a little bit farther away. And when I say farther away, I don't necessarily mean like they are thousands of blocks away. JackFrostMiner is building his base just over the hill to my right. It's not too far away. He's basically my neighbor. And I know Daphne is just on the other side of the swamp, which is just a couple-minute walk from here. It's not very far. And I know ECKOSOLDIER is doing a house on a hill a little bit farther away from spawn. What I'm talking about moving away, I'm talking about moving out of the immediate spawn area. Now, I really am liking this build, and I don't know that I want to give up on it and just leave and do something else when we've got a good thing going here. So I want to know your opinion on that. What do you think? Should I continue to build on this for, you know, at least a little while and make it my primary home? Or do you think that I should do a few things here and then explore and expand on out? Now, I want to also clarify, if I don't move out of here and I continue to make this my primary base area, I will do some exploring. I will go adventuring. I will go find other biomes and gather resources from those biomes. We won't stay here, you know, and not leave. But this will be my primary area for building and living and establishing, you know, a base. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear your feedback. And we are done adding the leaves, and we added a few logs here and there just to, you know, thicken up the stump a little bit, and that is looking fantastic. I love it. The only thing bothering me about this view is that little floating tree up there. That's completely my fault. I hate floating trees. I hate when people don't cut down the entire tree. And now that I say that, if any of the other guys are watching my videos, they're probably going to prank me and leave a bunch of floating trees around my base area. I probably would deserve it. That's okay. But we're going to chop this down because I don't like it. We're going to get rid of it, and it's gone. Okay, let's make sure there's no more logs up here. Good. Okay, so now that we are done getting rid of the floating tree, we're going to start building the other part of this base, at least the first of many, probably, parts of this base. And we're going to build a downed log, the part of the tree that fell down off of the stump. And it's going to be the same dimensions, just laying sideways. So we're building as if part of it is laying underground, and we won't do all of the detail today. I'm honestly waiting on the next update for some of this because I want that coarse dirt. Some of that coarse dirt will allow me to throw some dirt around and make it look like it kicked up some debris, and I've got this vision for it in my head, and it's going to look so cool. So we'll do part of it today, and we'll expand this as time goes on. We're just going to take our time. And this is something different about this series than my single-player world. On my single-player world, I do a lot of single-episode builds, and I do a lot of, you know, big builds, even in single episodes, and I could spread them out, but I feel like, you know, that's the pacing of that series. The pacing of this series is turning out a little bit different so far, and I'm really liking it because I can just take my time and not rush through a build just to have an episode out. And not to say that my single-player stuff isn't quality. I absolutely spend time and effort and, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and all of that stuff to make my builds look really good over there as well. But I think this pacing on this series is going to be a little bit slower, and I kind of like that because we can do a little bit more work on camera together, and you guys can see a little bit more of the process of building. So, again, question, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys like the pacing of this series so far? Do you like that I'm doing a little bit slower process of building? Or would you rather see faster pacing? Because I want to do what you guys like. And so far, you guys are liking my single-player series quite a bit, but you're also really responding well to this series. So, what do you think? For this series, should we make it unique and do a little bit slower pacing, or should we speed it up a little bit? Let me know. Well, while I was gathering bones for bone meal, I gathered some levels too, enough to make this. Silk Touch Unbreaking 3 Efficiency 4 on my pickaxe. Oh, I'm so excited. This is the first diamond pickaxe that we've made, and we've already enchanted it. And we have enough levels to do one more thing to this pickaxe, and we are going to go grab the mending book that we purchased from AGHQ. I gotta find my bearings here. I'm not sure where I'm at. We're going to go get that mending book, and we're going to apply that to this pickaxe, because then we can keep this pickaxe forever. Which, it's our first diamond pickaxe, and we'll be able to use that unless we die and lose it, and hopefully we don't. But we'll be able to use this for the remainder of the series. It's awesome. Oh, see you later, Jack. Just logged off. But yeah, we'll be able to use this for a long time, and hopefully we won't, lose track of the durability and accidentally break it or anything like that, because, if it was a fortune pick, it would automatically rejuvenate itself just by mining resources, by mining diamonds or coal or things that give you XP when you mine them. But since this is Silk Touch, we'll have to go take it and repair it at, like, the skeleton farm or something, but I'm willing to do that. So, let's grab our mending book real quick out of our personal chest that we keep by our bedside. There it is, right there. And we'll hop on over to the anvil and put this on our first pickaxe. This is my first mending tool ever in Minecraft. And we're going to name this Blue's Silk Mending Pick. All right. And there you have it. Well, thankfully we put that mending pick away before this happened. Not that we were going to lose it anyway. We're not anywhere near lava, but I don't know how that happened. I was up on top of Dallas's house again, just taking a look at the progress, and I fell. Again, I don't know what happened. I was crouching. I was on the edge. I didn't jump. I don't think I was pushed. His door was shut. There were no mobs in there. It's lit up well. I just fell. Okay, well, I'm going to run along the mountainside here and try to find all the stuff that I lost when I died. It exploded everywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I found everything. Let's throw our armor back on real quick. Oh, and I seem to have broken my helmet. I'm going to have to get another one of those at some point. And honestly, I'm going to have to get more armor altogether. But there it is. That's the progress that we've made so far on the little log back there. We have done quite a bit of work off camera. The main reason for that was because most of the time was spent, again, farming for trees. So let's hop on down here and take a look at what we've done up close, just so you guys can see it. And I know it doesn't look like much right now. It just looks like a massive half circle of logs hanging out in the middle of the ground. But just have some faith in me. It's going to look way better once we detail this up. We're going to do some of the detailing right now, but we're going to do most of the detailing later as we build, as we expand, as we honestly get more blocks added to the game, because I'm still waiting on that coarse dirt. I know it was announced to be added in 1.2 whenever that comes out, but no sign of a beta just yet, and no news on a release date for that beta from any of the developers. And I'm going to eat my words here, because you know that by the time this releases a few weeks after I record it, because I'm backlogging, they'll release it and you guys will all say, BluJay, it's out! What are you talking about? If that is the case, just try to go easy on me, because, things happen. The last thing that we're going to do today is detail up the face of this log really quick, because we don't want it to be left open and ugly, because we're not going to do anything with the interior today. This is just the exterior structure of the log. And while we're detailing this, because we're doing pretty much the same thing we did with the stump facing upwards, this is just going to be laying on its side. It's going to be jagged and random, and basically right now we're just establishing a doorway. But I want to talk about what's going on the inside when we do get to that at some point in a future episode. Maybe the next one, maybe a couple after that, we'll see. Here's my idea. I'm thinking that we might potentially put our auto smelter in here, and either make that the primary function of this particular log and have other logs spread across the ground elsewhere, or this could function as, a multi-purpose area. We could have an auto smelter, we could have, an anvil refill station like we have in our single player series, or we could have a number of things. What do you guys want to see in this log? And what I'm thinking also is, we probably will have more logs throughout this little area here that spread across the land. It's like the tree kind of exploded and just, spread out all over the place. That's what I'm thinking, and maybe we can have some underground tunnels, like some root systems. I've gotten a couple of suggestions about that. Maybe some roots can be our tunnels, and we can connect up the different areas of the base. That's looking pretty good so far. So what do you guys want to see in this series? I can do a lot of the same stuff that I've done in my single-player world with just a different design, a different take, and maybe a different, even technical redstone design. Maybe we can do a different style of auto smelter than we did in our single-player world. It doesn't have to be with minecarts. We can do it with hoppers. So what do you guys want to see in this general area? What do you want to see in this series? What are your hopes and dreams and desires for builds in this world? We are almost done with this build. I'm just taking out a couple of these spruce fences and spreading them out a little bit and doing some fine detail work. That is the tedious process of doing detailing, and man, that is looking good. Let's come over here. This looks a little empty. Place a couple of these spruce fences down, and I think that is it, guys. I think we have our final design. I'm really happy with this, and I can't wait to start building the interior. And you know what? Let's get rid of this one too. I'm just nitpicking now. I'm just trying to find the exact right place for these to go. But yeah, I'm excited to start building the interior of this and the fine details of the exterior on the sides. Oh man, it's going to be a great series. I can't wait for what's in store. Well guys, we are done for today. We have the finished exterior of the starter stump and the starter log that is lying sideways right next to it. And we need to work on a potential enchanting room, which might go in the upstairs of the starter stump. And I'm looking for more suggestions on what to do on the inside of the log. I've got a couple ideas like I mentioned earlier, but I want to hear your feedback as well. What do you want to see in this series? What kind of builds do you want to see? Where do you want to see them? Do you want to see them here, or do you want to see me branch out, pun intended, to another location in this world? I'm thinking I'll probably stay here, but if enough of you guys think that I should leave the spawn area and expand to a place of my own, then I will consider that. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you'd like to see in the future of this series. But for now, my name is BluJay, and I've got to fly on out of here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.